There's some players behind us, but you can choose someone else who's missed out on that list. Everyone at home, let us know. You know how to do that. But Stephen, go on and make your case.
Granit Xhaka. He is a captain of old. He is on the pitch, he directs the tempo, he decides whether we take the drop in midfield pass or the long pass up the flanks. He tells everybody where to go. He's like another coach on the field. It's like an enormous training session, and he's in charge. And everything about where Sunderland are and the results they have in the league and continuing all the way to the end, all those standards and those demands and that drive is set by him. And I think he's really showing you what a really good top quality captain can do to transform a team. So he must be.
You've made a good case there, Stephen, I've got to say. Johnny, anyone on that list for you, or have we missed someone?
I think Pedro was a great signing for Chelsea, but I actually agree with, I think Xhaka's been the best signing. Walter been fantastic for Newcastle, but I think Xhaka, for what he's doing at Sunderland, is phenomenal, and I think he's the best signing so far.
Daniel?
I think one that I might regret saying actually is Martin Zubimendi. So Zubimendi at Arsenal. I know he's angry. I'm sorry, but let's be honest. Let's be honest, man.
Dan, what are you doing to me here?
Good work, Dan.
Listen. I mean, I really regret saying it, but he is by far one of the best central midfielders I've seen in Spain. And he's definitely performing for Arsenal, and that's something that we would like for ourselves at Spurs as well.
Mind games, Jamie. He's just putting pressure.
Jamie,
he's putting pressure on them.
Come on.
You've got Arsenal shirt on under there. We need to check him out in the break.
Not in disguise. Not in disguise.
James, is it obvious what you're going to say?
Yeah, and Mbeumo's been our best one, but I think you definitely Xhaka argument for the best overall is there. And obviously, growing up as a kid, he loves Sunderland as well. So it's good to see him go back to his boyhood club.
Katie? At Bournemouth, who've you got? Is anybody saying that we're missing anybody?
Listen, I could make a case for Adrian Truffert. For Bournemouth, I could.
Fair point,
In terms of the fact that Milos Kerkez has gone to Liverpool and maybe not performed as well as they'd have hoped, and obviously cost us a lot less. But in terms of what the others are saying, I think Granit Xhaka across the Premier League probably has been the best signing in terms of the fact that the experience he's brought to a promoted club. We've seen previously in the last few seasons that the promoted clubs haven't perhaps had that stability, and he's provided that for Sunderland in their hopes to stay up and currently qualify for Europe.
Well, touch wood, Jamie, I'll get to you in a moment. But, go on.
Hand out the award right now. I mean, it's universal, isn't it?
At the moment, Joe?
I can't think of a Palace player, unfortunately. Pino's the only one, but he's still coming up to speed. But for me, Granit Xhaka. Like, the leadership quality that he brings, I mean, they're in the top 4. I mean, it's ludicrous. So, Zubimendi as well, I will give... sorry, Jamie, I think Zubimendi's been really good. Eze, not so much, unfortunately, from Palace perspective. But Kudus as well. I'm surprised you didn't say Kudus, because he's had quite an impact for Spurs.
It's a good point, Kudus is definitely one. But it's because when I'm seeing the influence so far, Zubimendi's been standing out so far for Arsenal, really.
But it's Xhaka, isn't it? It's definitely
Xhaka's by far.
I think people forget
Xavi Simmons, I was going to say. Xavi Simmons.
Xavi.
A great start to the season.
What about Florian Wirtz? What about him?
Everyone's opinion is valid.
I think Xhaka. You talk about leadership, you talk about a club coming up from the Championship, everyone expecting us to finish bottom, and
No. Didn't expect that.
Well, maybe not you, but everyone else did. But, fair play to him. Jordan Henderson as well. I mean,
Brentford,
we've got to talk about him. He's come in, everyone was thinking he was the forgotten man. He's gone in at Brentford. They're doing really well, And Donnarumma. I mean,
I think value for money, Champions League winning goalkeeper, 26 million.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone else has signed as good as that.
Surprise when he went to that fee, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That could have been a good sign.
I don't think that's arguing.
A few there. Right, okay. Right, Jamie, we are still waiting for confirmation of the extent of Gabriel's injury, but several newspapers are reporting it's going to be between 1 and 2 months. I mean, either way, that's going to rule him out of the game on Sunday.
the weekend,
How big a blow is that for Arsenal, and how much of a boost is it for Tottenham?
It's a massive blow for Arsenal. I mean, you've just basically shown Arsenal all their goals this season. Set piece FC, isn't it? So to lose Gabriel is a massive loss for them. They're in. Look, he's been incredible. He can't get away from it. They've been the stalwarts of the Premier League so far, but we'll see what they're like without him. Look, there's a lot of injuries going around. Spurs have got injuries. We know that. That's a big injury for Arsenal. I think they've got injuries up front as well. I think they're going. I mean, Luke will probably tell me more, but I think they've got some struggling players up front as well who are not 100% fit. So look, we'll see. Our away form going into the game is brilliant. Our home form's terrible, but that's a bad stat that we haven't won there in 15 years.
Well, Luke Henry, or Luke Henry as we call you on this show, how worried are you about this Gabriel news and the game in general? Are you feeling more confident or worried about that too?
It's North London derby. You're always confident, especially at home. But with the Gabriel injury, it's a concern. But my concern is more about the individual rather than the team, because if he's come back from a hamstring injury, that was quite a serious one at the back end of last season. Now it's a thigh injury this time. So I am a little bit concerned. But you know what? We've built a squad, so there's minimal excuses really. We've got Pierre Nketiah couldn't step in. Christian Mosquera has been really good since he signed from Valencia, and also Ricardo Calafiori is actually a left centre back. So we have got options.
Is Benjamin White fit? Because he was a centre back.
He was
until a couple of seasons ago.
He's still away off 100% in my opinion, and he's giving Jurien Timber a lot of competition, who actually went off but carried on the game in midweek as well. So listen, it's a North London derby. It's a big game, it means a lot. But the Gabriel injury is a blow, but we have the significant squad depth to counter that. The main worry, as Jamie picked up, is that Arsenal fans have been frantically looking on social media for updates about the attackers. Don't think we're going to get many back before Sunday. I mean, Noni Madueke potentially could be there, and Gabriel Martinelli, but Kai Havertz has apparently had a setback. Victor Gyökeres is still a doubt. We're not too sure. Martin Odegaard. So that's a bit of a worry instead of the Christmas period. But
he's getting excuses in, isn't he, Tom?
No.
He's getting them in.
I was asking
get him in early, Luke.
I know what we had this conversation.
They've got Michael Oliver still to come. We've got to talk about that. The referee of all refs for Arsenal. They'll be making that excuse. We're going to blame the ball. Somebody's going to, red cards. Something will happen where they'll have an excuse if they get beat.
3 points, maybe that might be
you can remember all this. Don't worry, remember all this when you speak to him after the game on Sunday. But Daniel Nanaklubi is a Tottenham fan, so you're getting ganged up on here, I'm afraid, Luke. I'll try to protect you as much as I can. But Daniel, how are you feeling going into the North London derby?
A bit apprehensive, let's be honest. I mean, when we look at the record, generally speaking, Arsenal tops us, especially at their ground. It's been haunting us for years. I think the last time of any significance, remember Harry Kane always popping up with goals. Eric Dyer even having the moment shushing the fans too, but they've always trumped us. And especially going into Sunday, we've got quite a few significant injuries ourselves. No Dom Solanke. We're relying on Brennan Johnson to pick up on the goals. Could he make the comeback? Possibly. And then obviously we've got a back line, which I'm very confident with. We are looking very solid at the back, but can we deliver the goals?
Is Romero fit?
I think Romero is fit.
Is he going to be back?
We'll definitely be starting.
Well, you love him.
I love Romero.
You love him and Van de Ven, don't you? Aston, as a Manchester City fan, I guess you are a Tottenham fan on Sunday.
Yeah, we want Spurs to win that one. That suits City massively. I don't think we'll be getting lucky. I think that Arsenal will be the team that win. I don't see Spurs being Arsenal. I mean, Spurs have got a great record against City, haven't they, actually? They seem to always do well the Etihad. So that's a bit of a worry for City's point of view. But no, I think Arsenal will win that one. I will be supporting Spurs. I mean, I'll be right behind them. Usually I don't say that. I don't like Spurs winning either, just because they always seem to get better at City, which I don't like. But no, Arsenal win that one.
Our away form's good though, Tom. That's the big thing. Like, this season we've been poor at home, and that's been the highlight of our season that everyone's talking about. Thomas Frank at home, as you got the minerals to play the freestyle attacking football, but away from home we are good. We're solid, we're compact, set pieces. Everyone going on about this year. That could be the one where. Look, I believe we can go and win the game? No, I don't believe we can go and win the game. But if we can stop Arsenal,
not with that attitude.
Well, but listen, we've got to be realistic as well. We have got a lot of injuries. If we can go there and play well, great. If we can take a point off Arsenal, I think that's almost like a win for us.
I'll ask a couple of neutrals, Katie Moody and Stephen Dorton. Katie, I know you're a Bournemouth fan, but this is a game that every football fan will be looking forward to. How do you see it? Do you see it as Arsenal as mega favourites, or do you just think, well, it's a derby?
I think it's a derby, obviously, as we know. I think with Arsenal, obviously the injuries are a worry to both sides. I think we've seen that Tottenham have had quite a few injuries, but again with Arsenal they've been without their front line for a while, or their preferred front line, shall we say. So I don't know. I think it's going to be quite a close game. I think Thomas Frank is starting to settle into a bit more of a rhythm with the Spurs side. So I don't know. I think it'll be an interesting one from a neutral's perspective. Obviously for us, we'll be keeping an eye on the table, because because again, if we get 3 points over West Ham over the weekend, then that puts us straight back up into sort of European places and so on and so forth. But yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting one going into the weekend.
Semenyo will be watching this one closely, won't he?
We're going to be talking about Semenyo actually very, very soon. So we're going to hear a lot from Katie actually in this show about one of her star players. And Stephen, we've got our own derby to worry about coming up, of course, haven't we? But the North London derby is still a great one for the neutral. Can you give any chances to Tottenham here?
Absolutely. I don't know what you're worried about, Jamie. They're not that hard to score against, I'll tell you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I don't really think Gabriel's injured. I think he's still getting off the floor where Brobby threw him the other week. So, honestly, pretty straightforward. Move your hoardings in, stop the throws. Rice can't even make the 18-yard box.
It was the wind, Stephen. Regis Lapree said it was the wind.
Well, it's a bit windy these days. You never know. But also, they had 2 corners. You're right. Set-piece merchants. Yeah. If you get into them, they can't really do anything. And I think we showed you what to do. You've got nothing to worry about.
Yeah. I mean, they've shown the way, Sunderland, haven't they?
Well, exactly right. Reminder, you can see the North London derby. It is live on Sky Sports Premier League from 4 p.m. on Super Sunday. We are delighted that the Premier League is back. Right, we're going to be doing a series of flash polls with our guest fans this morning to gauge the opinion on some of our talking points. Let's start with a big one. Will Arsenal win the Premier League? You've all got a poll that says yes or no. Don't hold it up just yet. After the break, got a bit of time to think about it, and after the break, you can say yes or no. Right, before the break, we asked our guest fans to have a think about this question. Nice and easy. Will Arsenal win the Premier League this season? Right, you've all got your cards. Is it a yes or a no?
Of course, there's only one.
That is surely... Right, hold on a minute. What went on in the break?
No. Got nothing to do with this, Tom.
Right.
Got nothing to do with this.
I've got a feeling that might be a hijacked poll, okay? But Aston, I will ask you about it, though. Is that because you think that your club, Man City, are going to win it?
I think everyone thinks City are going to win it, really, don't they? By the judging out of the poll, I think everyone thinks that City will be the side to win it, just because of the past. I think I was not so sure at the start of the season, and the way Liverpool and Arsenal started, I thought maybe City are in it this year. But looking at how Liverpool have gone recently, and then Arsenal, we know what happens to Arsenal when it gets tough. Arsenal seem to always fall away, don't they? So I think it's going to be the same again this season. It seems a little bit inevitable it's going to happen.
Abigail, do you really believe that?
Liverpool.
I don't believe they'll win it. I just think they're bottlers. I think at the end of the day, they're not going to win it. I don't care how far they get into the season. They're not going to win it. I don't know if it's just like being a Liverpool fan and having the trauma of City chasing us and, us not winning it when we've been top of Christmas and stuff like that. I think you've always got Man City in the back of your mind. I just think City will win it. I think Liverpool have got more of a chance than them.
You're taking deep breaths there, Luke, and then suddenly when Abigail said that...
That's not what I was saying.
That's what we were saying 5 minutes ago. I still think Liverpool are in it. No, I think it's our time, and I think you've got to go back to the 28th of September when I got told by pretty much everyone that it was done. Liverpool had won the league. They were going to go to Crystal Palace. We were going to lose at St James's Park. The gap was going to be 8 points, and it was not going to happen. And we're now in a position where we're 4 points clear of Manchester City, 8 clear of Liverpool, which probably shows the beauty of the Premier League and how quickly football can change. But also, an Arsenal fans, believe it or not, we haven't made this narrative that the job's done or we're going to win it. We're taking it one game at a time. You can never be too high. You can never get too low.
What are you on about? You've been sat in the crowd with your papers out.
Yeah,
you're cringe FC.
There you go.
Come on, you can't get away from it.
So you use 2 or 3 fans to make a generalisation.
Well, you're all in it together.
We're all in it
we know Arsenal fans, this is what you do.
Well, we all believe that we can win the Premier League.
Believe the hype.
Why not?
But you haven't gone and done it yet.
And no one's saying we're going to do it. But we have to believe. We're not allowed to support our team. I think.
No, support them. But
this narrative that Arsenal fans think we're going to win the league doesn't. We know what we're going. We know how incredible Liverpool are. We know how incredible City are. Pep Guardiola's 1,000 games as a manager. We know what we're up against. But I think it's a different City. I think this Arsenal side is different. I think we can use the experience that we had in the last 3 seasons. We're quite mature, and also with the injuries, we've got the squad now that I can actually challenge and go to the very end.
Yeah.
But it's the beauty of football. There's 9 points between West Ham at the moment in the bottom half and the relegation zone, and Sunderland in the top 4. So football can change so quickly, but the fact that we're 4 points clear of Manchester City right now after 11 games, after the tough start we've had, I think it's our time.
Yeah, last week's Arsenal fan also predicted that you'd win the league as well, so a bit of confidence growing there. But Nina, no one's mentioned Chelsea there.
Hey, I'm just happy to be here and sit silently and watch these guys. But to be fair with Chelsea, I think we are in competition with ourselves, I think mostly first and foremost, because we're so inconsistent and we're yet to go on a bit of a run. I think we've had some good results, it's been great, but then we've almost come crashing down with the next game and it's kind of back at square one. So I would love to go on a bit of a run like sort of Arsenal did last month. We've seen Liverpool come off the back of a really strong season. City have done it multiple times in Premier League winning seasons. So I think for Chelsea is we just need a bit of momentum, and I'm hoping we can get that. Tough games. I think Burnley at the weekend scares me more than Arsenal and Barcelona coming up, which just sums it all up for you. But I think, you know, we need to get some consistency going, but I think we could be in the mix. We could make it difficult for these guys, but I'm just happy to push these guys and make it as difficult as possible. But
Nina, when does it get to the point where Chelsea can't keep saying that you're not ready to win the Premier League yet because it's a young squad? Because you spent £1 billion.
Yeah, we did.
And every time I speak to a Chelsea fan, they go, not yet, not quite yet. When you're like, well, when?
Well, I think if you look at last season and how tough we made of finishing in the top four and how inconsistent we are there, it's normal to come into this season and expect us to be a lot more convincing and be in the mix with these guys. But I certainly think, like I mentioned earlier, we need a bit of consistency. I think our defence is definitely a big weakness, and you don't really win a Premier League title with the defence we have. We've changed centre-back partnerships. In about 11 games, there's been different centre-back pairings. That doesn't help. So I think certainly if you're looking at winning a Premier League, that needs to be addressed, and we've obviously got January to do that. Maresca's made it pretty clear he wants a centre-back, and I mean, we've got promise, but the fact that Josh Achingpong is the youngest, most promising player, but you just need to give a bit of time and a bit of stability for that to happen.
The future of Ethan Nwanery's potential loan move is suddenly uncertain, as Arsenal remain wary of repeating past setbacks caused by injuries. According to recent reports, the club is open to sending the young midfielder out on loan this winter, but the idea raises immediate questions. Nwanery has become the talk of the moment after a report from the Daily Mail suggested that Arsenal are considering a temporary move for the 18-year-old. Despite his limited minutes this season, the thought of letting him leave, even temporarily, comes with significant doubts. Back in October, Mikel Arteta publicly insisted that Nwanery would have plenty of opportunities to play, pointing to the fact that the teenager had already been called upon when Martin Odegaard was injured. "I don't know, but I don't work with expectations," Arteta said at the time. "I work with what the players can give in the context of where the team is at that moment." Ethan played 2 Premier League matches early on because Martin was out. He's played in other competitions and he'll play more. Yet the reality has been very different. Nwanery has logged fewer than 500 minutes this season, appearing in just 5 of Arsenal's 11 Premier League games, none of them as a starter. His only starts came in the 2 EFL Cup wins over Port Vale and Brighton, and in the 3-0 Champions League victory against Slavia Prague. The arrival of Ebereki Eze and the promotion of Max Daumann have tightened competition even further. And despite injuries to Odegaard, Bukayo Saka, and Noni Madueke, Nwanery's pathway has only narrowed. It's easy to forget how young he still is. At 18, and having first debuted at just 15, like Daumann, these are formative years where consistent playing time is crucial. The busy festive period could open that door, but with Odegaard, Madueke, and Kai Havertz all nearing their returns, there's a real chance Nwanery could slide even further down the pecking order. This is why a January loan sounds logical on paper, but it also sets off alarm bells. Arsenal's season has already been shaped by injuries for the second year in a row, and squad depth has never felt more essential. A single setback among the attacking players over the holiday fixture run could thrust Nwanery back into an important role almost overnight. The more sensible approach may be to reassess in the summer, once the squad naturally reshapes and the club have a clearer picture of their needs heading into 2025. Only then would a loan feel more secure, ensuring Nwanery actually gets the minutes he needs rather than risking another stalled development. Even then, nothing is guaranteed. Supporters will remember Serge Gnabry's loan to West Brom, intended to push him closer to first-team football, but ultimately a move that derailed his progress before he rebuilt his career in Germany. Arsenal's recent history with loans has been mixed at best, and too often unsuccessful. For now, the club must weigh the immediate needs of the squad against the long-term growth of one of their brightest prospects. Whether a loan becomes the right option, or another cautionary tale, remains to be seen. But the complexity of Nwanery's situation extends beyond simply playing time and squad depth. Inside the club, there is an ongoing debate about how quickly young talents should be exposed to the pressures of elite-level football. Some staff members argue that Nwaneri's technical level is already above many players his age and that keeping him close to Arteta's structure will accelerate his development. Others believe that without consistent starts, and without a clear pathway to earn them, his progress could plateau. The uncertainty has also stirred conversation among supporters and pundits. Several former Arsenal players have expressed concern that the club may be repeating old patterns, where promising youngsters become trapped between first-team aspirations and inconsistent minutes. Others, however, believe the club is being careful for the right reasons, protecting a player who still needs physical development before facing the demands of weekly Premier League battles. This internal and external pressure has placed added scrutiny on Arteta's handling of young talents this season. While he has been praised for trusting academy graduates in the past, the balance has become harder to maintain now that Arsenal are competing on multiple fronts and aiming for silverware. Every decision carries weight. Resting senior players risks losing points, while overusing inexperienced teenagers risks injury or decline in confidence. There is also the broader question of what kind of loan would actually benefit Nwaneri, should the club eventually decide to pursue one. A move to a Premier League side fighting relegation could offer minutes, but expose him to a demanding environment that prioritizes survival over development. A championship loan, on the other hand, might provide consistent matches, but at the cost of adjusting to a more physical style that does not always align with Arsenal's tactical identity. European options have been mentioned as well, though not confirmed. The possibility of joining a club in the Netherlands or Germany, leagues known for nurturing young talent, has been discussed quietly among observers. Yet Arsenal are hesitant, given how unpredictable such moves can be and how often they fail to produce the expected results. Meanwhile, Nwaneri himself remains focused and professional, according to those around the training ground. He is said to be eager for opportunities, but not frustrated or discouraged. The coaching staff admire his attitude, which only complicates the decision further. He is doing everything right, and still his future remains uncertain. As Arsenal approach the January window, the club finds itself at a crossroads. The next few weeks will likely be decisive, not just for Nwaneri's short-term career, but for how Arsenal choose to manage their most gifted prospects in an era of high expectations and relentless schedules. Any decision made now will be examined closely, not only because of what it means for Nwaneri, but because it will signal how the club intends to balance ambition with development as they move into the next phase of Arteta's project. Arsenal now face a difficult setback. Piero Hincapié may have to step into the North London derby under less than ideal circumstances after Gabriel's injury blow. The club is hoping that Hincapié's long late return trip to North London won't affect his readiness to replace Gabriel against Tottenham, because losing the Brazilian for such a crucial match is a major hit to Mikel Arteta's plans. Arsenal have already been forced to cope with key absences at various stages of the season, but Gabriel missing the derby presents a challenge of a very different magnitude. Naturally, the focus shifts to who will fill the gap on the left side of Arsenal's defense, and for many, the most logical answer is Piero Hincapié. The summer signing impressed during his only start for the club so far, an outstanding display at left centre-back in the League Cup win over Brighton. That night, he partnered with Christian Mosquera, who is also an option for Arteta on Sunday. One possible configuration would see William Saliba move to the left, with Mosquera taking his place on the right, depending on how heavily Hincapié's international travel weighs on Arteta's decision. And that travel is far from insignificant. The Ecuadorian defender is currently away with his national team. He captained Ecuador during their 0-0 draw with Canada, helping secure the clean sheet. But the real concern comes with his final international fixture. Ecuador face New Zealand in New Jersey in the early hours of Wednesday morning, UK time. The match kicks off at 1:30 a.m. and is expected to finish around 4 a.m. Only after that will Hincapié board his flight back to England, meaning he won't arrive in London until Wednesday afternoon at the earliest. From there, he will have just a handful of days to recover, settle back in, and prepare for one of the most intense fixtures of the season. The slight silver lining is that the derby falls late in the weekend, giving him as much time as possible to reintegrate. Still, the timing of his return is far from ideal and adds yet another layer of uncertainty to Arsenal's defensive preparations ahead of a match that could define their momentum for weeks to come. Beyond the logistical headache, Arteta and his staff must also consider the physical and tactical demands that a North London derby imposes. It is not the sort of match where a defender can arrive underprepared, particularly against a Tottenham side that has looked sharp in attack this season. Any hesitation, any lapse in intensity caused by travel fatigue, could be costly. Inside Arsenal, there is a quiet concern that the club may once again be walking a tightrope with its defensive depth. Over the past 2 seasons, injuries at the back have forced Arteta into uncomfortable choices, and Gabriel's setback reopens a conversation that the club hoped was behind them. The manager has repeatedly emphasized the importance of continuity across the defensive line, especially given how central the high defensive line and controlled build-up are to Arsenal's identity. Gabriel and Saliba have been at the core of that stability, and disrupting it inevitably changes the team's rhythm. Analysts close to the club have noted that Hincapie's profile fits the role well, confident under pressure, quick across the ground, and capable of progressing the ball with either foot. However, they also caution that he is still adapting to the Premier League's pace and physicality. Throwing him straight into a derby environment may accelerate his integration, but it also carries risk. Supporters have expressed mixed reactions as well. Many are eager to see Hincapie given a real opportunity, believing his style suits Arsenal's long-term plans. Others worry that asking him to deliver immediately, under difficult circumstances, could place unnecessary pressure on a player still in the early stages of adjusting to English football. The timing of Gabriel's injury also complicates Arsenal's broader goals. With a congested winter schedule approaching and the title race tightening, every match takes on heightened importance. Dropping points against Tottenham could shift momentum, not just in the standings but in confidence across the squad. It also forces Arteta to rethink how he manages minutes for defenders who have already logged heavy workloads this season. Club insiders say the staff have been preparing contingency plans for weeks, anticipating scenarios where international duties and injuries overlap. Yet even the best planning can be stretched thin when travel delays and late-night kickoffs are added to the equation. In the coming days, the medical and performance teams will conduct assessments to determine exactly how ready Hincapie is for Sunday's showdown. Arteta is expected to make a late decision, balancing long-term health with short-term necessity. The hope is that the Ecuadorian arrives in good condition, responds well to training, and can at least offer a reliable solution in Gabriel's absence. What remains undeniable is that Arsenal enter the derby under a new layer of pressure, forced to adapt, to trust their depth, and to test the resilience that has been a defining theme of their season so far.